Coming up on Troubadour, Texas. Every artist can tell you, it's not just what you play, but where. Sometimes, if you're really lucky, that one special place might change your life.
No, the Ryman to me was like the mother church.
Plus, we take a ride to work with Roger Creager, a little drive to his office where a few friends are waiting.
Playing here, this is the fun part.
The Texas music landscape has long been a hotbed of a unique American art form, producing some of the most inspiring singers and songwriters ever. One they call the last outlaw poet.
That's my life. I never look back.
Now there's a new breed of troubadours out there, some living the dream, some just hoping to catch a break. And now more than ever, it's about the songs, the strategies, and the will to rise above the rest. Where dreams live and die and rise again. It's time for the workday to begin. Time to load up and head into the office. Time to start the commute to work.
Yeah, buddy.
And when you're Roger Creager, everything about that looks a little different. Your work is, well, music, of course, and the office, at least for the next few days, is Gruene Hall.
Man, Gruene is a great place to come to kind of forget about everything and just relax.
It's a small town tucked into the hill country of Texas, a place known for its dance hall and more.
You know, it's a vacation stop for most people. They road trip to get here. And so, you know, you kind of check your, worries at the city limits, whatever. You come in here and it's just kind of,
All right, and deep breath. Most everything here seems to slow life down a bit. This isn't where you come for fancy. There's history here. More people, music, and stories than you can imagine. And since 1878, they've all gathered in here, the oldest dance hall in Texas. Some might say the mother church of country music in Texas.
Oh, I'm trying it all the time. Yeah, I'm out there every night. And my truck has seen some miles to find the words to write this song. To get me back on top of right along. Well, I'm not over you yet, I must be on a Wednesday night.
Wednesday, and Roger Creager has a sold-out crowd in Gruene Hall, all here for day one of his 4-day birthday bash. Fans, many who plan their vacations around coming to his shows this week.
no matter what you do, however hard you work at it determines typically how successful you'll be. But this isn't work to me. When I sit in the office and I'm going over contracts and paying bills and doing paperwork and income taxes, that's work. But, playing here, this is the fun part. It doesn't feel like work.
It's a sold-out concert for one of my heroes at night. Baby,
Tonight, Roger's sharing the stage for an acoustic set with friends and singer-songwriters Max Stalling and Rick Trevino. A night of favorite songs and stories. It's more low-key than a full band kind of night. And with these three friends on stage, it's more like hanging out. It's performance, but it feels a bit more personal.
I'm out there every night, and my truck has seen some miles to find the word to write this song to get me back at top of Avalon. Well, I'm not over you yet, I must be having fun all wrong. Hey, I guess you were right. Blue bonnets are worth the drive. Now I'm here in Canyon Lake alone.
Well, alone with nearly 1,200 fans.
Thank you.
Just ahead on Troubadour, Texas, before the Grammy and before the hit songs, one night of Texas music changed his life.
A little over 30 years ago, I walked through those doors back there one night for the very first time, and I got chills from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet.
And the legendary Chris Christopherson on the place that introduced country music to the world and changed his life forever. For more of the music and all your favorite troubadours, join in the conversation on Twitter, Facebook, and TroubadourTexas.com. Is that what? G? Uh-huh. If you're a singer-songwriter chasing the troubadour dream, I'm pretty sure it's a safe bet to figure that taking the stage at the Ryman Auditorium is probably a big part of that dream.
The Ryman to me was like the mother church. I'm sure that when I went there in uniform and shook hands with Johnny Cash backstage at the Opry there, it changed my life. And I immediately knew that's where I belonged. And although I was on orders to go teach English at West Point, I never looked back. I resigned my commission and I was glad to be a janitor and a songwriter. The first week I was a janitor at Columbia. Bob Dylan was recording Blonde on Blonde there, and I was the only songwriter in Nashville that could be in on the sessions there, and it was beautiful. And it's always been a love story for me ever since I went to Nashville. So I feel very lucky.
Not all love stories have a happy ending, but this one definitely looks like a happily ever after. This is a place often referred to as the Mother Church of Texas country music. Welcome to Green Hall. Tonight, Roger Creager is taking the stage with George Ducas and Alan Shamblin. And in the singer-songwriter world, they're both a pretty big deal. Their songs have been recorded by some of the biggest names in country music.
Hey, this is a special thing. We play 150 shows or so a year with our full band. I do a handful of acoustic shows, and it's extremely rare that I get to do songwriter things with other guys. And for me, this is wonderful. For 2/3 of tonight's show, I get the best seat in the house.
As I said earlier, I was from Huffman, Texas, and every year for the last 30 years, at least once a year, I could drive by my old house where I grew up in. Wrote this with my buddy Tom Douglas.
It's a song you'll probably recognize. It's become a mega hit for Miranda Lambert.
Can't go home again, but I just had to come back one last time. And ma'am, I know you don't know me from Adam, but these handprints on the front steps, they're mine. Up those stairs in that little back bedroom is where I did my homework and I learned to play guitar. And I bet you didn't know, under that live oak, my favorite dog is buried in the yard. And I thought if I could touch this place or feel it, this brokenness inside me might start healing. And out here it's like I'm someone else. I thought that maybe I could find myself. If I could just come in, I swear I'll leave. Won't take nothing but a memory from the house that built me.
You know, you hear these songs on the radio and they become part of your memory and part of your nostalgia and part of your life. And I just think it's cool as hell to hear where the song comes from. You know, at the end of the night, I said we're trying to recreate a vibe of just a bunch of songwriter buddies hanging out in a hotel room and playing the songs that we like, you know? And I think it struck a nerve with the crowd when he's playing, you know, The House That Built Me, and he's playing Just Call Me. It's like, wow, man, you know?
Just call me lonesome, heartbroken, then some.
Just Call Me Lonesome was a top 10 country hit for Radney Foster, who co-wrote this song with George.
You call me baby, now I've got a new name. I don't need my old one, call me lonesome from now on. I don't need my old one, call me lonesome from now on.
We got the greatest jobs in the world. Nights like this kind of remind you of it.
Just ahead on Troubadour, Texas, there's a whole lot of places to play music, but some bring a little magic of their own.
Promotional consideration for Troubadour, Texas is provided by Best in Texas Music Magazine. Pick up the latest issue free at pubs, clubs, and live venues all over Texas.
There are thousands of live music venues, places all over the country where the music plays and the party happens. Some are as simple as an outdoor stage. Many have become famous for the legends that took their stage, for being located just off the bay or in some unique setting. Some are listening rooms, some aren't really rooms at all. Open spaces next to restaurants, bars, even an old movie theater. Some venues are 3 stories big, others as small as your living room. Some venues pay better than others. Some sound better than others. Some have become part of TV history. Some venues are known for live recordings, live performances, beer drinking kind of venues. Or the wine and cocktail kind, where there's chandeliers and elegance. And that's just in Texas. When the venue can inspire the artist and the crowd, it's someplace pretty special.
Anyway, I wrote this tune. It was their first top 10. Wrote it for the Eli Young Band.
Used to pull off Highway 240.
Nights like tonight are the big payoff.
We'd go hide on Friday night.
Nights like tonight and the quarterly checks. Go to the mailbox and go, well, this is the payoff too.
Everybody'd always bring a couple guitars. We take turns singing songs and watching it burn.
But no, I mean, literally, this is the payoff. That's what you do, you know? Like, this is the reason you write songs.
Again, band, and we'd be singing at the top of our lungs.
Let me hear you.
It's always the love songs made it with the fire down low. Hold your girl real close. Made you wanna love the one you were with.
I told Roger, and I know these are his fans, and me and George got to feel that love coming, and they were so kind to share that with us and kind of welcome us in, and that was incredible.
It's a different experience for fans to hear songs they know from the songwriters who wrote them.
Well, I'm for Roger Creager. I'm for getting out of debt. I'm for having faith in something that hasn't happened yet. You don't have to guess what I'm against. No, you don't have to guess what I'm against. If you know what I'm for.
The number of awards, hit songs, even a Grammy shared by these friends is more than impressive. It creates a night of music that's an experience, a time to learn what inspired the words that have become some of your favorite hits.
Well, mobile homes and beer joints and shift work is what I remember. But don't go running her down or my neck will get red and I'll defend her. Like a true native son, I'm almost a true native son. That's where I come from, yeah. A little over 30 years ago, I walked through those doors back there one night for the very first time. And I got chills from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet. Jerry Jeff Walker was up here. And all I knew is I wanted to spend the rest of my life chasing my dream of writing songs. And I got that same feeling when I walked back in here tonight, thanks to Roger Creager.
Much like the legendary Chris Christopherson chose to pursue music after a night at the Ryman, Grammy Award-winning songwriter Alan Shamblin chose to pursue music after a night at Green Hall. History repeats itself. Different artists, different venues, each inspired by the music and the venue where it played.
For 30 years I've run, but this is where they're gonna bury me when my running days are done. 'Cause that's where I come from. Yeah. God bless y'all. Be safe going home.
Still ahead on Troubadour, Texas. Every artist has a few secrets, and this one actually inspired a song.
My dad, he had a birthday earlier this month. He turned 79 years old.
Roger's dad, Bill Creager, often joins him on stage, always for one of their favorite songs.
My dad taught me this song. We grew up in South Texas. He taught me how to sing in Spanish. He taught me that primarily because he said, son, if you do it sexy enough, you can get a date to the prom. And he ought to know. And then he told me after I tried to be sexy all the time, he said, well, son, if you really want to have fun, just grab a cold beer and sing some party Mexican music like this. Allá en el rancho grande, allá donde vivía, había una rancherita que alegre me decía, te voy a hacer tus calzones como los que usa el ranchero en los comienzos de lana, te los acabo de cuero.
Su mamá le dice a Julia, que te adiós ese señor, ay, ay, ay.
So, the advice from a dad that inspired his teenage son has now become a crowd favorite at every Roger Creager concert. It's interesting how when most of the crowd doesn't even know what a song means, and it can still be fun. Something about music just does that. A formula of sorts, where inspiration means more than understanding.
I've never felt like I won the lottery or, had a you know, I don't feel like I'm living that dream. It feels to me like this is who I am, and thank God that there are people out there that appreciate it. Thank God there are people that appreciate it. I've got CDs and T-shirts back here. George does too. Alan Shamblin, he relies on superstars to record all of his songs. And if you'd like to download Miranda Lambert's The House That Built Me, you just do that off of iTunes. He'll get paid and he'll sign your iPhone if you'd like in the backpack. Aleph told me backstage, he said, if we can get up and sing Rancho Grande, I'll church lady across this stage. Anyhow, 3:30 in the morning, we're finally going to bed. I had to get up and go float the river, and oh, my life is so hard. What am I complaining about? I love this. I love it, man.